Greetings, 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 and salutations, one and all. Welcome, 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 welcome to the night shift. It's a brand spanking new night here. Yeah, I'm just coming back from vacation, so every night this week is a new night. Healthy Love Night right here on the night shift to DJ Kevin Stew. Sean Garrity joins me in just a few. But it's Healthy Love Night, and I want to say thanks to each and everyone who have it locked right now. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the show. Those who are on TuneIn Radio, Night Shift to DJ Kevin Stew, Rotterbox.net, all the Rotterbox affiliates, One Harmony Radio, Foundation Radio Network, whoever is carrying the show right now. Big ups, big ups, big ups, big ups to you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Glad to have you. Couldn't do it without you, and I promise you, I wouldn't try.
Yeah, we doing it again. When the music hits you, you feel no pain. We're doing it again and again. When the music hits you, you feel no pain. And now, show me your heart is beating, and you're breathing, and you're so full of life. Come let we activate the vibe. Come let we demonstrate we are alive. So show me something up in here. Give me something up in here. Put up something up in here. Wave up something up in here. Cause we up, we not down. We come to party all day long, and we going strong. Don't let the vibe get dumb. So show me something up in here. Wave up something up in here. Give me something up in here. Put up something up in here. This time I'm doing all I could. Cause I full up the life I think I should. Live my life to the fullest. Bring my cup to the fullest. Jam them down to the fullest. Go all out just like tourists. I say, if you know you want it and you not give up, I want you to show me you can make the cut. Time to raise the vibe now. It's time to live it up. So come and start it up, start it up. Come let we activate the vibe. Come let we demonstrate we alive. So show me something up in here. Give me something up in here. Put up something up in here. Wave up something up in here. Cause we up, we not down. We come to party all day long, and we going strong. Don't let the vibe get up. So show me something up in here. Wave up something up in here. Give me something up in here. Put up something up in here. Come on to party.
It's on a Razor Saga.
Yes, I come on to party.
The track is called Activate Life.
Live my life to the fullest. Bring my cup to the fullest. Jam them down to the fullest.
Yeah, we got to live our lives to the fullest.
If you know you about it and you not give up, I want you to show me you can make the cut. Time to raise the vibe now. It's time to live.
But I encourage you guys to visit the Stew Pot,
Come let we activate
where we keep things bubbling.
the vibe. Come let we demonstrate.
KevinStew.com.
So show me something up in here. Give me something up in here. Put up something up
It's what others call the chat room.
in here. Cause we up, we not down. We come to party all day long, and we going strong. Don't let the vibe get up. So show me something up
I want to say thank you to Paul C Media Group for sponsoring this segment of the show.
in here. Put up something up in here. Come on to party.
When being in the moment is priceless.
Up in here. Up in here. Up in here. Come on to party.
Healthy Love
Up in here.
is the show.
Up in here.
This segment is sponsored by
Up in here.
the Paul C Media Group.
Up in here. Up in here. Up in here.
When being in the moment is priceless, who do you call? Paul C Media Group. They can make
Don't let the vibe
your memories last forever.
give up something. Up in here. Give me something. Up in here. Put up something. Up in here.
And if you want to reach some people that you haven't reached in a while,
Up in here. Up in here. Up in here. Come on to party. Up in here. Up in here.
they can get it live.
Tunji doing it right now.
Because Paul C Media got it like that, you know?
Yo, static. Story time now.
They can capture your moments.
Leave the house and meet me partner.
And they can stream your moments.
Later, he tell
Just like they're doing with this one right here, right now. Thanks to Paul C Media for making this possible.
bouncer. Boss man, my name on that paper. He say partner, I don't read. but you must not understand. Hey, oh, inside I hear just rain.
The son of Olatunji.
I don't formulate the plan.
The track is called Action.
Inside, so when the levels start to rise, I get in on the action, the action, the action. I get in on the action, yeah, yeah. Don't know how I get in the session, the action, the action. I get in on the action, oh yeah, 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 boy. Look how I lost myself deep inside this jam. Feel like I'm watching myself, tipping wine on somebody, yeah. Some more reaching for the general section. If you see me, I go get you out. It's like them no understand. Hey, oh inside I hear just raining, woman. I feel through the partition. Oh, now it's VIP time. So when the levels start to rise, I get in on the action, the action, the action. I get in on the action, yeah, yeah. Don't know how I miss this so long. The action, the action. I get in on the action, oh yeah, 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 boy. It's how the atmosphere have a different pressure. Feeling like my body rising off the ground like a ball of steam. And then I reach the stage in front of the performer, confetti falling just like a dream. But you don't understand. Hey, oh inside I hear just raining, woman. I in perfect position, oh, for the maximum vibe. So when the levels start to rise, I go reach in the party, I go have a good time. If you don't know me face, don't mind, don't mind. But now open your cooler, cause I know I mind. I like it myself tonight, and I'm feeling like I've done. Oh, cause inside I hear just raining, woman. I reached the promised land, hey, and I'm feeling so nice. So when the levels start to rise, I get in on the action, the action, the action. I get in on the action, yeah, yeah. Don't know how I missed this so long. The action, the action. I get in on the action,
Olatunji getting in on the action.
yeah, yeah, boy.
Pulse Media Group will keep the action going. Keep it preserved. I want to welcome you to the show. Those of you who are tuned in by whichever means you're tuned in from. Tune in radio, the night shift to DJ Kevin Stew, or the website, kevinstew.com. You could even be tuned in from Pulse Media Group or any of the affiliate stations. I want to thank you. Oh, you're not seeing me, are you? Okay, we can fix that real quick. Tonight is Healthy Love Night. And for those of you who saw the post, tonight we're talking about temperature-related heart attacks. And you might be wondering, geez, why are we talking about temperature-related heart attacks? You know, it's only November. Well, yeah, it's November, but you realize that temperatures are already dropping? There are places that last week had snow. And we're talking about the first week in November. Thanksgiving hasn't even hit yet. Most times it's round about Thanksgiving that people start seeing snow. But here it is. So, and typically, you end up hearing more about the flu because of the change in the climate. Now it's cooler, and it's fluctuating every now and then because it hasn't quite transitioned out of, well, in places like South Florida, you still have hot days. And then coming into the winter, you'll have the occasional cold front rolling through, and you end up with the hot and the cold and the hot and the cold and the hot and the cold. It's like jumping in and out of the house with the AC blazing inside the house, and you come outside on a hot summer day. You know, it's hot and cold, and you end up getting sick. That kind of a deal. But tonight's show looks at more than just getting the common cold or the flu. something like that relating to cold temperatures. And I can say I never really gave it much thought until I came across an article talking about it. How cold temperatures affect the risk of heart attacks. Never really gave it much thought. But for those who lived or currently live in the more frigid climates, I'm pretty sure they have given it some thought, if not had some experience with it. But on the line, I have my co-host for the evening, Mr. Sean Garrity. I take off the DJ tonight. I put on the Mr. Well, it's really the honorary doctor, Sean Garrity. Sean, how you doing, bro?
I'm doing perfecto.
Oh, it's been one of those days. It's a perfect day for you.
Yeah, but it's not a bad day, man. It's really not a bad day. I say today is a good day.
All right, we can work with that. We can work with that. How you doing, bro?
um, the weekend was great.
Wait,
I had to kind of like train a DJ last weekend.
how do you train a DJ? Is it you have it or you don't have it? How you go about training a DJ?
See, the artistic part is the easy part. It's the business side of a training part because this brother have me and do a party with him. And the party for done 10 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And after me done get a few of the speech a party done, he might talk about the lady that she might want to go another hour. I said, okay, is she paying? Said, yeah, she's paying. I was like, okay, did you get the confirmation that this is happening? He's like, no, I know it's good. I'm like, no, bro, it's time to go, son. The party is over.
Yeah.
So
it's not all good. That's not how it works in the business.
Like, it's my client, man. I did 4 parties of her already. I was like, bro, that's because she knows she could jip you. Then you're gonna tell me that we're gonna get tipped at the end of the night. I was like, look, I'm bringing my stuff down, right? I'm taking the lights that I brought and whatever else I have, stuff for the ceremony. So I'm moving that over, and he was still playing until 11 o'clock. I sat down and watched him.
Wow.
I'm not MC anymore. My contract ended at 10. And then there was no tip. I was like, that's what I'm talking about, bro.
So wait.
That's what I'm talking about.
So tell me this. Was he upset that there was no tip?
I don't think he's upset. I don't think he understood what happened. I don't think so. There was no tip. There was no extra hour overtime paid. Unless he took the money and didn't give me my share. But I don't think he would do that. But we have another party this Saturday. I'm going to be at the house, son. Don't be with that, this Saturday, you know what I'm saying? Party ends at 10, the party ends at 10. And if it's not done, if someone don't come and slap you that extra $500,
okay,
I'm leaving. I'm not staying to help you break down. No. The photo booth's gone. The photographer is gone. The people who do the chairs and table, they backed up the chairs and table. And you still here playing music?
I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Way too often does it happen that the DJ and what the DJ does is unrecognized. People will often want a DJ to go above and beyond and just say, yeah, man, just 2 more songs or just another half an hour.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
but the people that have the chairs, they don't say to them, oh, just 2 more songs or another half an hour, and then you can pack up your chairs.
No, I
They
don't
don't
finish
say-
little man for the table. Just wait now.
Yeah, They don't say it to the photographer. They don't say it to the videographer.
One more picture. One more picture. No.
But they'll say it to the DJ. Now I could be wrong. Photographers, videographers out there, correct me if I'm wrong. People
I have
who,
never
who,
seen a
who
photographer or videographer stay unless that stuff is paid for. Never.
so
Even
if
the
they're
photo booth guy,
printing,
he comes to be like, yo. Even the photo booth guy comes to be like, yo, you're the last person in the booth. I don't care how long this line is. You are the last person in the booth. Don't talk.
and everybody just have to take it and that's it.
And move on. Yes.
No, I
Respect
know of
yourself,
cases.
bro.
I know of cases where the photographer is printing on site, and because he's being paid for the photographs, then that is a little bit different because
Right.
he's continuously earning.
Uh-huh.
But in a case where your contract is done and you've gotten your pay for the event, or you're supposed to get the balance at the end of the event, with no renegotiation of that contract, tick tock, ding 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 ding, alarm goes off. That's it. Everybody needs to understand the rules of this game because there's nobody that is going to be helping to pack up this equipment.
Exactly. And not me, because I sat there and watched him pack that stuff up. Now, I did help him to move it from the room to the car, but I didn't try to put it in the car with him. Because I'm
Yeah.
like, this is that craziness. You have all these drunk chicks talking about one more song, one more song. You playing the one more song.
For what?
Anyhow. Peace and I'm mad.
Boy. Yeah. Our people.
I'm sorry, folks. I know this is healthy love, and this is how I rant right before everything gets started.
Yeah, before we get into the meat of the matter. So, I was away last week. I was off on vacation. And so there was no healthy love last week.
Undisclosed location.
Well, it was a few locations. I went traveling.
Uh-huh.
I'll say it like the rich and famous do. We went traveling.
Mr. Sojourner.
Right. But we're back now and getting back into the swing of things. It's Healthy Love Night, and Sean Garrity is here with us as he is most of the time. I say most of the time because track season, when track season rolls around, it can be a little bit hairy. So,
Uh-huh.
all right. So, you came in when I was talking about the cold temperatures rolling in, being this time of the year. In fact, today,
Uh-huh.
Chicago had a temperature of 7 degrees. Not 17, not 70, 7. Single digit.
Mm.
And I'm like, boy, I remember that year I lived in Chicago. The lowest it got was that year was, I had to say, was down to the low 30s, high 20s. Maybe it hit the teens. And they were like, "Oh, this is the best winter ever." And they haven't seen another one like it since. But I never really gave any thought to the people that there were some people that unfortunately passed away during the winter. But I never really gave much thought to the fact that the winter directly affected their life. Literally. And it wasn't until I came across this article and started reflecting that it hit me. And I mentioned it to a friend of mine, and she said, the first thing she said was, yeah, shoveling that snow. I'm like, what? Like, giving your heart that extra work. I was like, boy, things we take for granted. Have you ever noticed that difference, Sean, when the winter rolled around and how your body reacted to it? Outside of the sniffles.
Well, I know when I lived in New York, I was actively still involved in track and field as an athlete. I did notice a difference running in the cold. There were just certain feelings that my body got that just never felt. Like in the summer or in the warmer months, my body just flew. You know, it just felt like it was rolling. In the wintertime, it actually felt it took a lot longer to get warmed up. And I feel like sometimes it's a lot harder for us to get the muscles firing the right way or energy going to the muscles because of the cold, I would think. So generally, if you ran a little bit slower in the winter or when it's cold, no one really bats an eye because we understand that the cold is affecting how much blood is being pumped, how warm your body is, how red the muscles are,
right?
And so forth. So nobody really worries about it. It's like, I remember even one day we were in practice, coach came with this crazy workout, and he gave us the target times. And I guarantee you, nobody came within 5 seconds of the target time. I think we were doing back-to-back 300-meter runs, and each was supposed to be in like 38 seconds, which at our level, 38 is a jog. However, in the winter, we were hitting probably like 43 to 45 seconds from the first to the last person through the tape. We couldn't even take off our suits or track suits or anything. We just kept them on into the workout. So from that level, I understood it. But now from another level, my mother, I just moved her down from New York to here because she has a heart problem. So it was critical for us to get her down before the winter hit because she has a serious problem with her heart. Now, mind you, she weathered the storm last year, but, when she was in a darker place, so to speak, in terms of where her heart was, her heart is much better now, right. But we didn't want her to experience it again this year, so we had to do everything we could to get her down. So she's finally down and, being able to walk in the outside in the nice, around the block, and don't have to worry about walking in snow because you definitely feel it when you walk through the snow. And I never really thought I would have experienced it like that when I lived in New York because now I'm thinking, I'm young and I'm strong. But once you start walking in the snow, it's not just walking through the snow, but the snow becomes water on your body.
Yes.
And when you fish, you got to make sure that you get warm clothes on because you'll get sick real fast.
Yep. And especially when you're young, you feel invincible.
Right.
And it doesn't bother you that much. But the older you get, the wiser you get, and you actually start listening to some stories and putting some things together. And of course, there are some times that you have to have a certain experience before you can say, you know what, let me reconsider this. But apparently this cold thing and how it affects the heart is real. And it can be real scary. In this time of year with temperatures dropping, there's a new report in the JAMA cardiology. And it warns that colder weather just may increase the risk of heart attacks. Now, this is what we're talking about in the case of your mother. she was moved down because of her condition down to South Florida, where the weather is warmer.
Right.
And thinking about it, there are a lot of retirees that move to places like South Florida because of the nice warm conditions. But what is interesting is that this study, although many a times it has been looked at, this study is actually the first time that it has followed, any study has followed both weather data and heart attack occurrences over the period that this particular study did. They studied these individuals, these occurrences, for 16 years. And what the data was showing is that heart risk was highest at below freezing temperatures.
Mm-hmm.
Now, of course, there are statistics to show everything. But when you take 16 years to do a study, I would think that you get some decent figures, some decent results from these studies.
Mm.
There's an epidemic of heart disease in the US, and some of the factors associated with it include obesity. But there are the other things that come along too: the high blood pressure, the smoking, the diabetes. And if you're one who is already at risk of heart attacks because of any of those factors, when the temperature drops, you're even more at risk. Now, it doesn't stop there. Because if you live in an area where there is particulate matter pollution at a high level, then you need to even listen up that much closer or take that much more notes. Because a small amount of pollen on a cold day would actually increase your risk of experiencing sudden cardiac death. Ever heard of it? SDC, sudden cardiac death?
Can I tell you, you ever watch the show 100 or 1,000 Ways to Die or 1,001 Ways to Die?
That was a long time ago, man.
Oh, I thought it was a new show.
As in the last time I watched it. It was a long time ago.
It really was a long time ago I watched it also. But there was a guy who was on the show that, he died, of course. The stories around his death. And he was actually at the stadium and he was cheering along. But the issue with him was, because of the very cold temperatures, he was drinking beer, the alcohol. And you know what alcohol is. So the thing about alcohol in reading, getting results for this, getting ready for this show was the alcohol makes your body feel warmer. But it's really warmer. So he's there in this cold, frigid place without a shirt on, drinking the beer, cheering. All of a sudden, he's dying, trying to get help from people around him, but they think he's cheering.
Oh, wow.
And when he sits down and stops cheering, that's when he's dead. And no one really noticed.
Wow. Heart attack.
Yeah? Sudden cardiac, whatever you call it just now.
Sudden cardiac death. SDC. 29 minutes to the top of the hour. We're going to take a quick little break because that's what we do run about this time of the day. Or this time of the show. Call a friend, tell a friend. It's the night shift to DJ Kevin Stew. It's Healthy Love Night. And tonight we're talking about temperatures and heart attacks. More specifically, cold temperatures and how they increase your risk of heart attack. We'll be right back. Bring a friend with you when you're coming back.
Policy Media Group, innovative streaming and recording, has done it again. A new way to get your business in full view of your neighborhood consumer through AdShare TV. It's available in your neighborhood today. It's easy. Just call us 754-999-6020. Become a host today and place a TV monitor in a strategic location so it's easy to see. Get a 1-minute video ad or longer that plays anywhere in our network. Can't be a host? No problem. For a few dollars, we'll run your 30-second video ad. A host can run announcement specials like buy one get one free or discount ads. Let's turn your flyers into a 30-second video with music or a voiceover, or let us create and run your video ad with a spokesperson. Take advantage of our early enrollment discount. Join us today. Your ad will be seen at least 30 times per day in your AdShare TV neighborhood. It's easy. Just call us 754-999-6020. AdShare TV, part of Policy Media Group.
Are you crazy about the music industry? You aspire to hit it big in music? Or maybe you've sweated out a soulful killer beat and are now stuck finding it's not as easy as it looked. Oh, but it can be easy for you with JTMC. We've been there. We know how it feels. So we solve challenges like production, promotion, marketing, branding and development, and more. With over 30 years of experience, JTMC is a one-stop shop for artists. We handle your graphic design, writing services, PR, as well as event planning, e-blasts, artist management, and bookings, so also your website and social media needs as well. We're experts in using creativity to persuade audiences on behalf of artists, drawing on our diverse experience to create projects that connect with audiences intellectually and emotionally. Artist success is everything to us, and our years of experience and commitment will be behind you for every one of your needs. If you've got music for the world to hear, whether you're a new or established artist, visit us at jtmcenterprise.com.
Nightcam Entertainment, in association with Garth and Michelle, presents Reggae on the Ocean. Reggae on the Ocean. The White and Bright.
White and Bright.
Boat Ride. Saturday, November 17th. Live performance by Bobby Rose with the Rose Heights Band and Tenor Blue. Also music by DJ Wizard and Richie Poole. Boarding begins at 6:30 p.m. and return at 12 midnight.
What is the location?
510 Southeast 5th Avenue, downtown Fort Lauderdale. It's Reggae on the Ocean, the White and Bright Boat Ride. Ticket includes complimentary buffet and cash bar. Get your pre-sold tickets at Super Duper Liquors, Vintage Hotspot, Moments, On Ice, Reggae and Things. The White and Bright Boat Ride. Saturday, November 17th. After the boat ride, it's the after party inside Portobello, 4257 Northwest 12th Street in Lauderhill.
Matthew 28:19 says, "Go ye therefore and teach all nations." With this in mind, and encouragement received during a South Florida media conference, The Church Links was birthed. The Church Links is an interdenominational worship service portal for churches, providing the tools to spread the word through technology in a cost-effective way. The Church Links, www.dahchurchlinx.com, your links to worship and praise.
Representing for DJ Kevin, you see me I say I don't know the boss, you see me I say DJ Kevin Stew and the night shift radio show, yo, it at the thing, turn up the thing loud. Whoa, DJ Kevin Stew have the heart of a champion, never underestimate, just choose him. The silver line behind the dark clouds, DJ Kevin Stew believing and that's no doubt. Salute the night shift radio show, Christine, just heart it up, loud. Kill the beast.
Don't you dare give up. Don't you throw in the towel. No day, no way. Taking it one day at a time. Every day is fine. So I'm taking it one day at a time. Every day is fine. Times were rough, but it's no excuse. Still got a chance to make it, yes. I push on one start, give me life. Born to be great, now plan for lose. If me syndicate me, I go take it, yes. If I keep running, come along in the prize. Even though the road is so rocky, I'm still gonna try. Cause mama never raised me to be no loser. So I'll be chasing the paper till the day that I die. The lifestyles of the rich and famous, my future. Taking it one day at a time. Every day is fine. So taking it one day at a time. Every day is fine. Listen. Some man a sprint, some man a jog, but we still a reach with destination, yes. No man no better than a man, so relax. Been through the fire, but man still a trance. Still a push past the tribulations, yes. Keep my meds, I'm gonna do the work, yes. So even though the road is so rocky, I'm still gonna try. Cause mama never raised me to be no loser. So I'll be chasing the paper until the day that I die.
And mama never raised me to be no loser.
The rich and famous, my future.
That's chasing the paper till the very end.
One day
What about you? You taking it one day at a time, or you just trying to bundle it weekly?
fine. Yes, I'm taking it.
If you're just tuning in, welcome to the night shift to DJ Kevin Studio, thing we call Healthy Love.
Every day is fine.
With me, my co-host Sean Garrity.
Oh, don't you dare give up.
And tonight we're talking about temperatures
No day, no way.
and how they relate to heart attacks.
Don't you give
So more specifically, it's all about cold temperatures and the increased risk
keep the fight.
in having a heart attack because of the cold temperatures. Now, before we went off on the break, we were looking at how there was this test, this study that was done over a 16-year period on temperature and heart attacks. And what they found was that people that lived in colder climates had higher risk of, or higher incidence of heart attacks. But to compound that issue, there was those that lived in areas where you had polluted air. So because air pollution causes your body's inflammatory responses to heighten as you exhale, and well, more like inhale, when you inhale in the mix of small particles and the liquid droplets in the air. Basically what happens is the particles team up with the cold temperatures, and that damages your lungs and your cardiovascular tissue. And when that happens, it puts a strain on your circulatory system.
Right.
And when that happens, there is the increase in the loss of oxygen to your muscles.
Uh-huh.
More specifically, your heart muscle. Now, we
So,
all
so
know.
maybe that's why we felt. Maybe that's how we felt the way we did when I was just get adjusted to running in the cold.
There you go. You have less oxygen going to your muscles. And we know that your muscles need oxygen to operate at its optimum. And like it or not, the heart is a muscle.
Yep.
Now, the risk of muscle fatigue on the heart and muscle dystrophy is significantly less. But nonetheless, the heart is a muscle. So, as unfortunate as it may be, you have to recognize that even a small amount of air pollution on cold days could increase your risk of experiencing a heart attack. And when you have a concoction like that put together, you have the perfect concoction that increases inflammation, constricts blood supply to your heart. And that right there is a recipe for a heart attack. And then when you add increased physical activity to the equation, when you're doing things like as an athlete, you're doing your 300 meter, your 200 meter,
Yes.
whatever you're running. But as a regular Joe that needs to leave the house in the winter, if it's a private property, you know you're gonna have to clear that driveway or that walkway yourself. So here comes the shoveling of the snow. So the physical activity that is added to the constriction of blood supply to the heart, and there is the additional stress that is necessary for sudden cardiac death. Just like that. You never really thought about it like that, have you, Sean?
I'm gonna really think about it like that because I'm otherwise considered. I've always been otherwise considered healthy. So again, you don't concern yourself with things until somebody close to you, like my mother right now, is going through the situation.
Right. Well, another cold weather factor that you may not have thought about is the fact that breathing colder air affects the ability of the cells in your nose to react.
That's the burn.
Wait for it.
Yes, talk to me.
The colder air affects the ability of the cells in your nose to react to invading virus. And what happens then is that it increases your risks of developing a cold or flu symptoms. This is why people get sick when the temperatures drop. Now, couple that with the air particulates and the conditions now become even more perfect for affecting your immune system. So now, of course, you're more likely to get sick when the weather gets cold.
Right.
Now, polluted air, cold temperatures, restriction in your blood vessels, so the flow of oxygen to the heart is restricted. Your immune system now is getting weak. It's just a death cocktail. I can't put it any other way. It's a death cocktail. So with you moving your mother down from New York to South Florida, you probably just added another 10 years to her life.
Just like that. And
Just
remember,
like
Nana, she's not a cool person, naturally. She's been in Jamaica her entire life. I mean, she's traveled to and from the cold here, but lived there and all that stuff,
yeah,
So, but now with the issue, that's what makes it even more critical.
right. But you didn't really put all the pieces of the puzzle together to see what it is that could affect and how it could affect your mother.
Right. That's correct.
Now, they say you can do certain things to help you, like pumping up your immune system, making sure you have a healthy diet, plenty of omega
Yeah.
3s, vitamin C, um, building up adequate amount of vitamin D, which can be pretty rough in the winter in certain places because being out in the sunlight doesn't really do much if you have sun.
And I think maybe that's why I believe the Eskimos, they eat so much fish for that
Right.
for the omegas.
Yep. And vitamin K2 also helps your arteries. So, of course, when you get in your vitamin D, there are some vitamins that you want to supplement because they work well together. The D and the
Yeah.
K's, they tend to work well together. So, the harsh reality is all around us are threats to our health. Some of them we know are there because we can see them. Some,
Uh-huh.
they're just there, and you just know that they're there. You can't see them, but you know that they're there. Things like genetically modified organisms, GMOs, your processed foods.
Your fungus that turns into mold once it interact with moisture.
Yes, that one is
I
often
never knew that.
overlooked.
I didn't know that fungus actually lives in those things, and it sits there to dry and wait until it gets wet.
Yeah,
So
it stays dormant. Yeah.
I was like, you son of a gun.
Yep. And here's one that we often overlook: electromagnetic fields. Having that TV in your bedroom, charging your cell phone under your pillow.
Oh gosh.
Which even compounds the issue because it's a fire hazard.
Oh yeah.
So not only do you have the EMF exposure, but it's a fire hazard. You start that pillow under your head and you know what happens. Those is a good thing that jerry curl not that popular anymore because you go to sleep and you start that pillow that fire under your pillow and it catches your hair. Oh my goodness. Go up like I don't know, Roman candle.
Again, I was listening to one of the programs, the health programs, and it said the cell phone usage isn't the issue.
Mm-hmm.
Is that there's a power and energy that goes through it when it rings, when you just answer it,
Mm-hmm.
which is where the problem lies. Because they're saying that it's the same amount of energy that is in the microwave. I never even saw the experiment where several people, like about 5 people, put their cell phones and pointed it towards popcorn. And they all had the phones ringing at the same time, and the popcorn popped. So it
5
was
cell
just like
phones.
it's just about 5 cell phones, yeah.
Wow.
and it popped the popcorn. So it's just like like I was saying, the microwave electromagnetic forces. The microwave is the same technology. It's just that the microwave shoots a lot of power initially, and then once it starts to go, then it peters out. But then it doesn't affect your food that much in the long run. Same thing with a cell phone.
Right.
That's why the patients use hands-free devices, preferably those that have cable connections.
Yes, preferably.
Yeah.
I'm really a Bluetooth kind of a guy, to be honest. And I do know the dangers, but I'm still a Bluetooth kind of a guy because of I'm so active. To be tethered can be burdensome sometimes, but not only do they recommend the wireless, not wireless, but the headphones that are tethered to the phone, but they also recommend the ones that have the ear tubes versus the speakers in your ear. They have ear tubes that carry the sound from the speakers into your ear. Those are actually the better types of headsets because the speakers also emit electromagnetic forces.
Right.
Because they have a magnet, and once you know how speakers work, it's a magnet with a coil.
And it takes energy to push it.
And so anything that has a magnet involved, you're talking about electromagnetism. EMF. Yep. Hello. But more often than not, we don't think about these things. And Bluetooth devices, again, it comes back to that whole idea of the EMFs. So it's compounded. The radio waves from Bluetooth compounded with the EMF from the speakers in your ears. So compound effect. But we're not talking about that tonight. We're more focusing on temperatures and how the increase or the decrease in temperatures could increase your risk for heart attacks. When I say welcome to 143 in the pot, welcome to the show. If you want to remain anonymous, fine, do that. You can change your name too. That's an option. Down in that little box that's right above the text box, the text dialogue box. Okay? All right. 5 minutes to the top of the hour. We have another commercial break or another break to jump on into. And I know Sean's got to bounce. But any link ups this weekend, Sean, or any new info you want to leave us with before you bounce on out of here?
All right, a couple things. I know you're going to provide this later on, but I just to recall some of my experiences in the cold weather.
Mm-hmm.
That scarf, which I had my own little ideas about until I lived there.
Yes.
You know, I never thought a scarf was manly. Let me just put it that way.
Yep.
So
that's that Jamaican mentality.
So, that was one thing you actually start using more often. The face mask, the ski mask, it's not, criminals aren't the only ones that wear ski masks, people. Because I actually got windburn once during the winter. And that was when I learned I need to have a face mask.
Mm-hmm.
Because my cheeks were just like gone. And I didn't understand why. And then, someone's like, yeah, that's going to happen to your cheeks if you don't cover up. Blah, 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 blah. And we were at this venue called Red Hook, which is right next to the river. So it was cold and windy,
The
and we
Hudson
were
River?
running. I think it's the Hudson that's next to it. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But it's Brooklyn. It's Brooklyn.
All right.
So those are some of the things I learned. And it was amazing. That experience was really amazing to living in the cold. And one thing you always have to remember also, dress for temperature that it could be. Right?
Not the one that it is.
Not the one it is. Because one of the scariest moments for me was we had practice at the Fort Green Hill. And we started practice at about 3 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
And we started at like 70-something degrees. I kid you not, by the time we were done at about 5:30, it was in the 40s. But we never felt it. We never felt it. And then we had another half mile or 3/4 of a mile to get back to our dorm.
Yeah.
So during that walk or jog or wherever we got back to the dorm, you're not realizing how much heat your body is losing. And when I got home, I literally felt like my body was frozen to death. I'm hearing the phone ring and I can't reach it to get some help. And then luckily a friend of mine, she knocked on my door and, it was open. So she stepped in the bed, hey, what's going on? And there I'm in the bed, like, looking like a frozen piece of something.
Popsicle.
And I got popsicle. And I could barely move. That was the scary part. I could barely move. It's like I said, I heard the phone ringing. I'm saying, must answer phone, but my arm just would not move.
So, as fit and as strong as you were,
yeah,
a little change in temperature has really put you down.
It was a huge thing. We're talking about 30 degrees in 2 hours.
Yeah, I know that's a huge change. Don't worry. I'm just.
And then what really got me is because when you're running, you still feel warm.
Right, because you're active.
Not realizing the temperature. Yeah, because you're active, but not realizing the temperature left, and then you're walking back in the cold, thinking that you're warm, but you're not. You lose your body, which is one of the dangers they mention with adults, elderly people, and the cold weather. They won't feel that change so well, so readily.
Right.
So they easily freeze to death, But before I go, the last thing before I go is, ladies and gentlemen, no, I'm not retiring from the show. We're actually having a new show. I'm actually having a new show on Listen to Us Radio. It's on Thursday mornings at 10 o'clock. It's called All or Nothing. It's a talk show game show where we're having a talk show, but in the middle of it, we're having a game show where people can actually win prizes. So you can check it out this Thursday at 10 a.m. Listen to Us Radio. Listen, the number 2, usradio.com. And let me say also, it's so much fun saving money. Through Melaleuca, I've saved so much money this year. I've literally not spent any money this year on toilet paper. No, not toilet paper. On toothpaste. Toilet paper. On toothpaste, dishwashing liquid, deodorants, scouring stuff for the bathroom, stuff for the kid, his hair wash and his shampoo, and his body washes. I haven't spent money on shakes, which I used to spend money on regularly. And that's the power of what we do with Melaleuca. It's great products coming to you pretty much for free once you do what we do.
Yep.
I
can attest to that. I can attest to that.
I'm telling you, I think the hardest part is just learning how to shop. Once you get that down, everything else is like, why didn't I do this before?
The trick is have your shopping list. And when you're starting out, you see, we're changing the show. But when you're starting out to get just those things that you need that time. And if there's a sale going on, you can capitalize on that. But the next batch, that the next month when you do your shopping, some of those things may be able to last for 2 months. So now,
Listen,
what
my
you
kid's
end up
shampoo has
doing,
been lasting a year.
but what?
My kid's shampoo lasts a year.
See, because it's concentrated. So that's the other thing. So listen, hit me up, hit up Sean Garrity. We can talk about it because
I don't want to just put it up.
I do my shopping there also. So listen, 773-789 Stu. You can talk to me. I can connect you with Sean. It works. That's all I can say. It works.
You know, it's like the final note of the day. Some people eat junk food without batting an eye, but tell them about something healthy, they become researchers.
Yeah.
Adapted.
Yes. Was it you that posted that this week? I made
I
that
stole
comment?
it from Jefferson Green. Yes, I stole it from Jefferson Green.
Jeez, boy, I've never really come across something more profound.
It's so profound.
Say you go into one of the fast food restaurants and people go, "Oh, get me a this or a that." But say you're now using this supplement or you're using this product from this health company or this wellness company.
Yeah.
And what's in it?
I'm getting a shake. What's in it? And you don't worry about what's in it from the McDonald's shake. Or the poetry shake or
yeah.
smoothie.
When you went down to the fast food restaurant down the corner and got that milkshake or the burger and fries, did you ask what's in that? Oh, right. Sean, have yourself a good week, bro. And
Yeah, man. We'll be in touch.
let's tell you what. You can ditch that other guy, that other DJ, and you and I can do some events. Because this guy here is tripping.
No, the problem is he hired me, so
Yeah,
I can't find
know. I know. Based on how you told the story, I knew, but we're gonna ease him out gently.
Usher him out.
Right.
I'm outside.
Hey, take care, man.
Jeez.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sean Garrity. He joins me on a Tuesday for Healthy Love between the hours of 10 and 11 on a Tuesday. We're going to take a quick little break. When we come back, we'll talk just a little bit more before we get into our musical therapy segment. Call a friend, tell a friend. It's a night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. Yeah, true.
Roll out with Island Rock Music and have fun. Check out the quality apparel at islandrockmusic.com. Designed for you and your crew. Hear the music, feel the breeze, with selected tracks and more. Available now from the online store at islandrockmusic.com. islandrockmusic.com. Log on today and ride with us.
Stepping, these are roots vibrations. Stepping.
Night Cam Entertainment, in association with Garth and Michelle, presents Reggae on the Ocean. Reggae on the Ocean. The White and Bright.
White and Bright.
Boat Ride. Saturday, November 17th. Live performance by Bobby Rose with the Rose Heights Band and Tenor Blue. Also music by DJ Wizard and Richie Poole. Boarding begins at 6:30 p.m. Return at 12 midnight.
What is the location?
510 Southeast 5th Avenue, downtown Fort Lauderdale. It's Reggae on the Ocean. The White and Bright Boat Ride. Ticket includes complimentary buffet and cash bar. Get your pre-sold tickets at Super Duper Liquors, Vintage Hotspot, Moments, On Ice, Reggae and Things. The White and Bright Boat Ride. Saturday, November 17th. After the boat ride, it's the after party inside Portobello, 4257 Northwest 12th Street in Lauderhill.
When being in the moment is priceless, consider the ability to share that moment. If you can video it, you can broadcast it. And Pulse E-Media Group has the tools you need. Weddings, birthdays, funerals, graduations, church services, parties, seminars, you name it. Pulse E-Media Group can provide you with a secure medium controlled by you to broadcast your event. Contact us at www.pulsemediagroup.com for more information. Pulse E-Media Group, when being in the moment is priceless.
Hi, this is Cara Manti, and you're listening to DJ Kevin Stew, and this is The Night Shift.
The clock is ticking while the days slip away. Time is always moving, so you'd better not wait. Every day is precious, I don't wanna be late. When there's love to brighten up our lives, can we keep it real? Cause I don't wanna pretend. I've been thinking about us being more than just friends. You don't wanna wake up all alone and regret, and find the chance for us to pass you by. Bless me with your smile. Bless me with that look of love. I see it in your eyes, girl, don't test me. Cause I won't compromise, just do me right and I'll be there today. To bless you with my time. Bless you with my heart and all the stuff I have inside. Let me take you where happiness abides, and let me chase our troubles all away. Bless me. Of advice, listening to your girlfriends, well that may not be wise. They know nothing about me and they're telling you lies, saying you'll find better any day. I ain't got tattoos and I don't drive fancy cars. Keep it down to earth and got my head in the stars. You'll search far and wide but you'll find no bigger heart than the one in front of you today. Bless me with your smile. Bless me with that look of love. I see it in your eyes, girl, don't test me. Cause I won't compromise, just do me right and I'll be there today. To bless you with my time. Bless you with my heart and all the stuff I have inside. Let me take you where everything's alright, and let them chase our troubles all away. Bless me.
The sound of Tenor Blue. The track is called Bless Me. If you're just tuning in, I want to welcome you to the show. It's a night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. On a Tuesday night, we do a thing called Healthy Love. And since I'm playing Tenor Blue right now, I want to remind you guys, if you missed the commercial, the white and bright boat ride. It happens this weekend.
Bless me with that look of love. I see it in your eyes. You don't test me, 'cause I won't compromise. Just do me right.
Good evening, 747. Good evening, 301.
Bless you with my time.
Bubbling with us in the stew pot.
Let me take you from darkness to the light, and let them chase our troubles all away. Bless me with your smile. Bless me with that look of love. I see.
Numbers to call, numbers to text. 773-789-STEW. 773-789-7839. And of course, the stew pot is there, ready and waiting for you to interact on kevinstew.com. Alright, so thank you, Tenor Blue. Remember, you can catch him live this weekend on the White and Bright boat ride. And the after party happens in Fort Lauderdale. Yes. Alright, so we're talking about temperature related heart attacks tonight, and more specifically how colder temperature increase your risk for heart attacks. Now, there are a number of body changes that occur when you're exposed to cold temperatures. And although it may be irritating and sometimes just downright embarrassing, having a runny nose in the cold weather, that's not such a bad thing. I know some people raising their eyebrows at me right now. It's not necessarily a bad thing, because what it is your body showing literally protecting your mucous membranes. The fluid, the mucus that is running out of your nostrils, help to catch bacteria, viruses, and other foreign bodies that may be around. And if this mucus is capturing these foreign bodies and it's running out your nose, either it's going to drip out or you're going to blow it out. So it's one less thing inside your body. You can't go wrong with that. The winter months are a time when your skin also tends to dry out. So it'll feel tight, and it will feel rough, and it will feel itchy. And aside from being uncomfortable and less than attractive to the eye, when it becomes severe, your skin will crack. Now, when your skin cracks, that's like opening the floodgates for germs. And although external variables contribute to dry skin, including things like omega-3 fats in your diet, that can help to soothe irritated skin. Now, one of the simplest strategies to improve mitochondrial function, funny enough, is exposure to the cold. And that is called cryotherapy. Cold exposure increases your body's metabolic rate and induces the production of brown adipose tissue. Adipose, sorry. And this is what that is incredibly dense mitochondrial fat, and it helps your body to generate heat and lower your blood sugar and insulin resistance. But before jumping into a snowbank or choosing to exercise when the temperature dips below freezing, it might be wise to note that researchers have identified an increased risk in heart attacks with lower temperatures. We've been talking about this all night. So yes, lower temperatures help with mitochondrial function, but that's what going to bed and having your temperature round about 72 degrees, that's what that is for. The research with cold temperatures that are related to cold temperatures and heart attacks was designed as a prospective population-based nationwide gathering study. And it happened during a time when researchers would collect daily weather data from the Swedish Meteorological and Hydrological Institute. And they also extracted all myocardial infarction reports from the Swedish Nationwide Coronary Care Unit registry between the years of 1998 and 2013. So those are your 16 years. Now, any patients admitted to any coronary care unit in Sweden with a myocardial infarction was included, and it totaled over 280,800 patients, roughly 281,000 patients. Weather data was available for over 274,000 patients, which comprised the population in the final data analysis. The researchers had health information including age, body mass, smoking habits, and echocardiogram findings. The scientists were able to link an increased incidence of heart attacks to lower air temperature, lower atmospheric pressure, higher wind velocity, and shorter duration of sunshine, all connected. And although they found each was associated with statistically meaningful increased risk of heart attack, the data supporting the most pronounced effect was from lower temperatures. Now, as the temperatures rose, that the rates of heart attacks declined. Dr. Nisha Jalani of the Center of Intravenous Vascular Therapy at New York Presbyterian Columbia University Irving Medical Center says these findings support the results of previous research. And she also said, one thing that's interesting about this study is that they didn't just look at temperatures. They looked at a number of other factors such as sunshine hours and wind velocity. And it's also a nationwide study with a wide cross-section of patients. Now, the initial response to exposure to the cold is strong capillary vasoconstriction, and that happens in skin. And that quickly shunts blood to the interior of the body to maintain warmth. Rerouting blood protects vital organs against falling temperatures, but it diminishes the flow in peripheral parts of the body, such as your fingers and your toes and your nose and your face, and reducing tactile sensitivity. It also reduces manual dexterity and gross motor function. Not only that, it makes these areas more vulnerable to frostbite because now you're not really feeling the cold in these areas. And it's usually too late that you actually realize what is happening. And so, if you're not familiar with frostbite, it's when fluid around the tissue freezes. So it gets so cold that the fluid in your fingertips would freeze. Fluid in your on your nostrils, on your nose, on your earlobes. Under optimal conditions, the blood vessels in the skin open and close periodically in order to temporarily increase temperature in the fingertips. Excuse me. And this has been called the hunting response, or the cold-induced vasodilation. Cold also increases arterial resistance, triggering cardiovascular complications, things like a stroke, things like myocardial infarction and heart failure. Cold temperatures appear to increase the activity of the sympathetic nervous system, which then initiates cold-induced hypertension and suppresses the expression and formation of nitric oxide. This combination of events increases arterial resistance and blood pressure. Jalani explains the importance of the rise in blood pressure as it relates to the increased risk of heart attacks and strokes. And basically, she says, in someone with 70 to 80% blocked arteries, which actually might not be causing any symptoms normally, the arteries can be clamped down enough that the blood supply doesn't match the demand. Past research has documented an increase in blood pressure with exposure to cold weather. Researchers found an increase in systolic blood pressure, especially pronounced in those over 80. And there is some variation in the reaction to cold as taller people become colder faster, as a larger surface increases heat loss. So the shorter people, they're better off in the winter, which probably explains why Eskimos tend to be shorter. Now, although exposure may present a significant risk to those with arterial blockage, several countries take cryotherapy very seriously. Those in Japan use it to treat pain and inflammation from rheumatic conditions, and individuals in Finland and Russia are passionate about winter swimming. Finnish researchers have reported the results of a study using 10 women who took cold water plunges for 3 months. Blood testing revealed a 2 to 3 fold jump in norepinephrine levels just minutes after cold exposure. Now, norepinephrine is a chemical in the nervous system that may play a role in pain suppression. So, you understand what is happening at that point, right? They're not feeling it. Now, when it's cold, people tend to gravitate towards the coffee shops. Well, there could be some danger in that too, because an increased frequency in heart attacks during the winter months is also related to an increased load on the heart. Makes sense, right? Well, because those at risk would have to stay warm and wrapped up well before going outside, because you want to not get warm when you're outside and you're cold. You want to stay warm from inside when you go outside. So there's also a greater risk of heart attack in the morning hours. Why? Well, those who combine cold temperatures with physical exercise and who are susceptible increase their risk of heart attack more because it's cold and they're exercising. Shoveling snow is also associated with nearly 100 fatal events in adults and children every year. A recent study found an average of over 1,100 snow shoveling related injuries in medical emergencies treated in the U.S. emergency departments every year. Most of the injuries are related to bumps, bruises, cuts, and broken bones to the back, head, arms, and hands. And you'd wonder, if they're shoveling snow, why they're breaking all these bones. Well, you're shoveling snow, which means it's cold, which means the possibility of ice. You're going to slip and you're going to fall. And when you fall, it's going to hurt. And you may break some bones. Bumps, bruises, cuts, broken bones to the back, head, arms, and hands. You fall, you're breaking your fall. You might hit something on your way down. In those who received emergency treatment, men over the age of 55 were twice as likely as women to get snow shoveling related heart symptoms. The same study found healthy young men shoveling snow increased their heart rate and blood pressure more than when they exercised on a treadmill. And combined with cold air triggering arterial constriction and increased workload, this may just be yet another perfect storm. You see, there are things that we often overlook. Shoveling snow is apparently one of those necessary evils when you live in these frigid areas. But it's wise to be careful when you're doing it. Snow shoveling is strenuous. It puts quite the strain on the cardiovascular system because it uses upper body strength and works your upper body muscles. And upper body muscle work tends to be more taxing than leg work. Now, you also may hold the people who are doing this may also hold their breath while they're lifting. You're holding your breath, so you're shoveling the snow. You dig in, lifting it out to toss it. You're holding your breath. That places additional strain on the heart. Barry Franklin, director of cardiac rehabilitation at Wayne State University and an expert in the hazardous effects of snow removal, advises that those over 55 not to shovel snow, and believes those at greatest risk have been habitually sedentary with no known or suspected coronary artery disease. So they sit around a lot. Now, while you might be tempted to, after shoveling the snow, go into the house and grab a tall, hot cup of coffee. Sounds good, right? Well, funny enough, it can be the worst thing that you could ever do. Caffeine causes a short but dramatic increase in blood pressure. And even if you don't have high blood pressure, it'll happen. Dr. Jelani warns adding caffeine to an already at-risk situation may only increase the potential for experiencing heart attack or strokes. So, things are already sketchy, and you're going to compound it even more. Can you say taps? So, it doesn't stop there, because another stress on your heart is triggered by dehydration as a result of cold diuresis. As blood is shunted from your skin to your organs, it increases the volume in your skin, in your body's core. The increase in arterial pressure triggers a response in the kidneys to reduce blood volume by removing water to the bladder. If you're already dehydrated, now this can cause additional stress on the cardiovascular system because your body is warming up. Now, as the temperature dips below freezing, any water will turn to ice, increasing your risk of falling. Under icy condition, normal footwear would just not be enough. Overshoes or boots with aggressive sole patterns will help to prevent slipping and falling. Cold weather also increases your risk of front snip and frostbite. Frostnip and frostbite. And frostnip happens as the area becomes so cold that to blow that blood flows slow and the skin becomes unnaturally pale. It's like looking at someone dead. Typically, it first happens to your nose, your ears, your cheeks, your fingers, and your toes, your extremities. And it moves from frost nip to frost bite. And this is where ice crystals form inside the body's cells. Now, because the body is designed to be warm, when that happens, these cells die. So, can you imagine the cells on the tip of your fingers dying? They don't come back. They're dead. So, essentially, you're going to have to cut those extremities off. Superficial frostbite may be painful, but it may not result in the loss of body parts. Deep frostbite kills the cells in that area, and they may have to be amputated. So if you suspect frostbite, move to somewhere warmer if possible, and seek immediate medical attention. Please, 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 do not rub the area. When your body's core temperature falls, you experience hypothermia. It can result in slowed reaction times and impaired judgment. It's like you're drunk. You'll have plenty of warning of hypothermia because you'll be shivering. You will have reduced dexterity and you'd be miserably cold. Some things that you should do or could do include dressing in 3 or more layers, so you dress warm. Cover your head and your extremities, wear hats, wear gloves, wear a ski mask, wear proper footwear so that it reduces the risk of slip and fall. Stay hydrated. The trick here is you think that because it's not hot, you don't have to drink as much fluid. Listen, stay hydrated. You've heard tonight that the body operates in such a way that your liver is removing excess water. You need to put it back. Stay hydrated. And stay dry. Dressing too warm when shoveling snow or exercising is a common mistake. Exercise generates heat. Once you start to sweat, you're in the cold. Now your sweat may freeze. It lowers the body temperature. Where does that put you? Remaining dry is just as important as staying warm. So using a wicking layer closest to the skin, that helps to reduce the impact. And let people know where you're going when you're leaving out of the nice warm house. If you're not going to work, you're just walking down the street or whatever, let people know. Because if you get stuck, they'll know where to try to find you. And that could be the difference between life and death. It sounds extreme, doesn't it? But when it comes to life, you don't have anything to go up against but the extremes. Take every bit of caution and care you can to make sure that you stay warm when it's cold and you don't exert too much energy in an unhealthy way. Because once that temperature drops, your risk for heart failure goes up. Remember that. I'm breaking stuff here. I want to say thanks to JTMC Enterprises for sponsoring this segment. Well, the previous segment. 23 minutes to the top of the hour. This is our musical therapy segment. It's brought to you courtesy of the Wake Up and Live show. Sir Rockwell brings you the Wake Up and Live show tomorrow morning, kicking it off at 7 a.m. And at 11 tomorrow, he's joined by Brother Carlisle Magetti and Melissa Lady Song for a segment that is called What is Reggae Music? And he goes until midday with that. In the background, the gifted stylings of Jamie Hinkson. The new music from him, it's called Osmosis. Taking it once more from the top. like what Jamie does in this section right here. Changes the pulse. That's just musical brilliance right there. Jamie put this together while on tour with Julian Marley in Europe. All this tells me is this man hears music totally differently. But that happens when you deal with jazz musicians, right? But he's not just a jazz musician.
Before I could run, I found you already settled down in the back of my mind. I know this is just a custom made
From the creative stylings of Jamie Hingston,
deceiver that will lead.
this is Wild Tree featuring Annette Brissett.
Your heart is falling.
Their rendition of the country song, If I Didn't Know Any Better.
Deeper and deeper it's true. I hear it calling. If I didn't know any better, and I'd be in love with you. Didn't want to look in the eyes of the one that I would be drawn to. I'm a moth lost in a fire. I know this is just a beautiful illusion, a case of the confusion between love and desire. Your heart is falling. If I didn't know any better, I'd be falling. Deeper and deeper it's true. I hear it calling. If I didn't know any better, and I'd be in love. Flame burned down and said, I can hear you down, and you forget I ever came around. Your heart is falling. If I didn't know any better, I'd be falling. Deeper and deeper it's true. I hear it calling. If I didn't know any better, and I'd be in love with you. My heart is falling. Your heart is falling. I'm in love. If I didn't know any better, I'd be falling. Deeper and deeper it's true. I hear it calling. I'm in love. If I didn't know any better, I'd be in love with you. Everybody have something to say. Nobody wanna be wrong anyway. Everybody have a body and I wanna be heard someday. Everybody have something to say. Nobody wanna be wrong anyway. Everybody have opinion and I wanna be heard someday.
From the Liquid Raindrops rhythm,
I've heard mama say all the
this is Annette Brissett,
this world is so unkind. Many people have a
a track called Wanna Be Heard.
Oh, mama should
her head and said to me, one day you tell a story like me, but like a soldier militantly, my girl. He's only a fool who would lean upon misunderstandings, always thinking they're right and never so wrong. The wise one, oh, ain't got much to say. The little that they say would make your day. Oh, them a bless. Everybody have something to say. Nobody wanna be wrong anyway. Everybody wanna be hurt someday.
13 minutes on top of the hour. Everybody has something to say.
Something to say. Nobody wanna be wrong anyway.
And nobody wants to be wrong.
Wanna be hurt someday. But every sin I have a joy in life, have its purpose. Which way to go? Every day, every wrong, every law, every will is a way. How come when I know it's yeah? Mama said it's only a fool who would lean upon misunderstandings, always thinking they're right and never so wrong. A wise one who ain't got much to say. The little that they say will make your day, but no fact of your love. Everybody have something to say. Ain't nobody wanna be wrong anyway. Everybody wanna be hurt someday. Everybody have something to say. Ain't nobody wanna be wrong anyway. Everybody wanna be hurt someday.
One more and it just it for you.
Full thing. Not everybody
This time team you up with Barris for the Hammond.
what it means, but I'll be there. I wanna you want me to. I'll come running, oh baby.
Or should I say,
Be right by your side.
Barris teamed up with her for this one.
As long as the sun
What I like to call the original.
forever yours, and I'll be gotta be there. Yeah, I wanna you want me to, then I'll come running, baby. Right by your side, as long as the sun, I'll be forever yours, baby.
defenseless with you so close. The walls have crumbled from my body and soul. Write your name across my heart.
This is IKEA.
World to know that I'm yours forever. And I'll wear it like a shine.
A rendition of Write Your Name.
Write your name across my heart. Oh, yeah. To you, my life is an open door. And everything that I have is yours. I'll try to give you everything you need, but as far as love goes, there's a lifetime guarantee. Write your name across my heart. I want the world to know that I'm yours forever. And I'll wear it like a shining star. Write your name across my heart. In all my thoughts, in all I do, in all I say, I belong to you with every breath I take. Write your name across my heart. I want the world to know that I'm yours forever, baby. And I'll wear it like a shining star. Write your name across my heart. Write your name across my heart. I want the world to know that I'm yours forever, baby. I'll wear it like a shining star. Write your name across my heart.
Best thing I've ever seen.
Oh, Kevin, you're so
It's the best of days to know you have someone who loves you the way you always wanted. My dream come true.
This is Jordan Mays and the Rebellistic Band.
Songs that play in my head as I look at
It's called My All.
my gray skies blue. But to give you all the things to keep you happy, I'll move on the stars. I'll be so attentive to hear your every need. I don't wanna search for love again when you are my
I have one more track to play for you before I bounce on out of here tonight. Remember, Sir Rockwell kicks off 7 a.m. And thanks to Sir Rockwell and the Wake Up and Live show for sponsoring this segment of the show. A segment called Musical Therapy. I'll be back tomorrow to Real Talk Wednesday, 10 p.m. Eastern till midnight. Right after Marlon Borrell with the Real Rockers show. This here will be my last song for the night.
Right by my side.
It's on a Scotty P in lead vocals with Jar Works Band. The track is called So Lovely.
Joy and pride, so lovely. That's how I feel when I'm with you.
And that's how I feel about each and every one of you. Thank you all for the support.
So amazing.
I'll catch you all later on, okay?
It's true.
Those of you in the cold temperatures, stay warm.
It's been a long, long while since we had some time together. Made so many memories, even better stormy weather. Right now you got
Special good night to my very dear friend Nadine.
it's now or never, now or never. So lovely.
Take care, y'all.
Full. That's the way I feel when I'm with you. Don't you ever leave my side. Right next to me, that's where I need you. That's where I need you. Right by my side. Oh Lord. When my friends come around and check for me. Ask me what I'm doing. I tell them that I'm busy. Busy making preparation just for your arrival. Having your love in my life is key to my survival. So lovely and wonderful.
When being in the moment is priceless, consider the ability to share that moment. If you can video it, you can broadcast it. And Pulse E-Media Group has the tools you need. Weddings, birthdays, funerals, graduations, church services, parties, seminars, you name it. Pulse E-Media Group can provide you with a secure medium controlled by you to broadcast your event. Contact us at www.pulsemediagroup.com for more information. Pulse E-Media Group, when being in the moment is priceless.